Believe it or not, the little canary-winged parakeet sitting on your shoulder right now, the bird you lovingly call a bebe, would be a completely different creature if you met him in the wild. Same feathers, same tiny body, same enormous personality, but genuinely a different animal. Because the bird in your living room has been, let's say, heavily modified by domestic life. At home, your baby wakes up and immediately begins his sacred morning routine. Step 1. Scream. For no reason, just to confirm the world still exists. Step 2. Demand breakfast, loudly, as if he hasn't been fed in years. Step 3. Throw one piece of food directly onto the floor, on purpose while maintaining eye contact. Step 4. Eat a different piece of the exact same food. Step 5. Attempt to steal whatever you're eating, no matter what it is. Step 6. Scream again, now that breakfast has been handled. Then he spends the next 6 hours acting like the landlord, despite contributing absolutely nothing toward the mortgage. He inspects the apartment, judges your life choices, naps in a sunbeam, files complaints. It is a good life. A spoiled, ridiculous, climate-controlled life. But in the wild, that same bird is playing on a completely different difficulty setting. A wild canary-winged parakeet does not wake up wondering whether you're holding a blueberry. He wakes up wondering one thing: is something going to eat me today? Every shadow could be a hawk. Every branch could hide a snake. Every strange noise could be the last sound he ever hears. No snacks delivered, no warm cage, no personal servant, just the forest and everything in it that wants him dead. Wild beebs live in flocks, sometimes dozens of birds at once, and they are loud. Not because they're being annoying, okay? Partly because they're being annoying, but mostly because losing track of the flock can get you killed. Picture a dense South American forest. You can barely see 50 feet ahead. The leaves are thick. The canopy is endless. Everything looks the same. And your entire survival plan is basically screaming, "Bro, where are you?" every few seconds. That is a BB. The flock does everything together. They move together. They eat together. They sleep together, packed onto branches like feathery commuters. And they panic together. If one bird spots danger, everybody leaves. Immediately. No debate, no committee meeting, no comments section. Against a wall of leaves, a wild babe basically vanishes until 40 of them start screaming at once. Now compare that to the genius living in your house. You can watch a pet canur stare directly at a vacuum cleaner for 3 years and still act completely shocked every single time it turns on. A wild canur would not survive 20 minutes with that level of decision-making. You can watch a pet baby stare directly at a vacuum cleaner for 3 years. In the wild, canurs spend most of their day searching for food. A wild baby would not survive 20 minutes with that level of decision-making. Whatever the season happens to offer, in the wild, beebs spend most of their day searching for food. A healthy wild canur can travel miles in a single day. Miles through predator-filled forest just to find lunch. Your pet canur, meanwhile, flies from the couch to the curtain rod. A healthy wild bebe can travel miles in a single day, and somehow, he still acts exhausted afterward. He'll nap for an hour to recover from a 15-foot commute. Then there is the social life, and wild canurs have a serious one. They spend enormous amounts of time grooming each other. Your pet bebe, meanwhile, flies from the couch to the curtain rod. They maintain relationships, resolve disputes, and learn from the older birds. It is basically a tiny airborne civilization, complete with gossip and drama. At home, that entire social drive gets redirected onto you. Then there is the social life, and wild beebs have a serious one, which is why he needs to personally inspect every single sandwich. which is why he becomes deeply offended when you leave the room for 17 seconds. Many beebs pair up and bond with a single partner, sometimes for life. You are a very strange featherless flock member who is terrible at flying and who, somehow, controls the entire food supply. So naturally, he has decided to keep a very close eye on you. And here is the part people always underestimate. Parrots are smart, genuinely smart. A wild canoer has to memorize dozens of feeding locations, recognize predators on sight, navigate a maze of identical trees, identify safe places to sleep, and coordinate all of it with a flock of other loud, opinionated birds. That is not easy. That takes a serious brain. And it is the exact same brain that at home spends 20 minutes trying to bite your phone charger. The same charger, every day, with total commitment. And honestly, that is what makes it perfect. A healthy baby can live 25, even 30 years. Is an animal perfectly engineered for the forests of South America? Because they are prey animals, beebs instinctively hide when they are sick. A social strategist. A survivalist shaped by millions of years of evolution. A genuine apex forest goblin. And that magnificent creature, that masterpiece of nature, a wild baby has to memorize dozens of feeding locations. He has unlimited snacks, climate control, free healthcare, and a personal servant. And he is still absolutely convinced that he is the one doing you a favor. So next time your canoer throws food on the floor and screams at the ceiling, just remember, that is not a tiny, ungrateful pet. That is a wild flock animal, a forest survivor. Your baby knows exactly who you are, who feeds him, and who he is allowed to boss around. Believe it or not, your bird isn't a tiny human in feathers. He is a tiny dinosaur who tricked you into running his entire life. And he wouldn't have it any other way. Now give him the chip. The same charger, every day, with total commitment. Put on some music, though, and something amazing happens. He starts bobbing his head, then his whole body. Your tiny dinosaur is dancing. Nobody taught him that. He just feels the rhythm the same way his ancestors felt the pulse of the flock. And the sounds. Beebs are little mimics. Microwave beeps, doorbells, your laugh, your ringtone, even the smoke alarm, all fair game. Give him long enough, and he'll greet you with a perfect hello in your own voice. It is deeply unsettling. He is also a tiny escape artist. Latches, clips, locks, to him, they're just puzzles. That same brain that maps a jungle can absolutely figure out how your cage door works. Which means, at any moment, he could leave. He just doesn't want to. He's got it way too good. And honestly, that is what makes the whole thing perfect. Because deep inside every spoiled, screaming pet baby is an animal perfectly engineered for the forests of South America. An expert flyer. A social strategist. A survivalist shaped by millions of years of evolution. A genuine apex forest goblin. And that magnificent creature, that masterpiece of nature, is currently screaming at you because you dared to eat a chip without offering him one. He has unlimited snacks, climate control, free healthcare, and a personal servant. And he is still absolutely convinced that he is the one doing you a favor. Think about it. He could be out there right now, dodging hawks, raiding orchards, living the wild life. Instead, he looked at all of that and chose you, the clumsy, featherless servant with the magic food box. So next time your baby throws food on the floor and screams at the ceiling, just remember, that is not a tiny, ungrateful pet. That is a wild flock animal, a forest survivor, who simply got the best upgrade in the history of evolution. Believe it or not, your bird isn't a tiny human in feathers. He is a tiny dinosaur who tricked you into running his entire life. And he wouldn't have it any other way. Now give him the chip. Believe it or not, your bird isn't a tiny human. He's a tiny dinosaur who tricked you into running his entire life. If this made you smile, like the video, subscribe for more, and tap the link for the full story.